Welcome back into the workshop for another riveting... Welcome back to the workshop for another Sunday update of Dave's diary, and it's a good one. I completed the links by sanding, some radiuses on them, and or diameter, whatever. I rounded them off, and I measured the distance between the holes and noted them down on the individual pieces. That way I was able to choose, in this case, 3 links that were within 1/100th of a millimetre, so they're to each other quite close. The next measurement out actually just happens to be the same, and this one here the same, and this one, well, it's not, but it's close. A little bit under here or over here, it's not bad, not brilliant, but not bad. If I could find another one with that similar sort of spacings, I could give it a crack for using. Or, and here's the novel idea, remove that altogether and put it down here, so they are identical. Before that said, as a preamble to it, what were the measurements? I ignore this, I'll just remove this for a moment. I put 3 pins in here so I can measure to them, and I did. From the surface of the custom wood to the pin, I got all 3 measurements within 0.1 of a mil. So it was like 0.7, 0.8 sort of difference, not 0.7 difference. So 7/100ths of a mil accuracy from the get-go. No adulteration to anything to achieve that. And that's come down, I believe, simply to being able to not just drill accurately, because there are some natural variances, which is still annoying for me, but then it's a woodworking workshop, not an engineer's workshop, but being able to then note what they are, to then be able to choose which ones you want. Just remember the 09, so it's 09, 09 and 10, so all within 1/100th of a millimetre as measured. And then there's a little bit of variance in, okay, not these measurements are the same, these measurements are the same, but this one's a little bit bigger. I anticipate using this 3rd hole, maybe even the 4th hole, but part of what I want to be able to do is to make this whole assembly as compact as possible. So expanding it out too much could be a bit of a nuisance, but we'll see. If I wanted to, because this has only got a range of 50 millimeters from here when it's compressed up to back out there, 50 millimeters. If I have to move this back 100 millimeters, I can use these aluminium rails to make up that 50. Otherwise I'd have to be able to move this every 50 millimeters to do some of those measurements, or make some of the measurements for its application. And having something that is already 50 millimeters means I can drop it back 100, put the 50 mil rail in, and then I've got all those intermediate measurements, if you're following that. But having made this, I can use the links if the link measurements are paired together. So that's a really, really good thing. This one here is kind of that way. These two are identical. These are only 5/100ths apart, and these are, well, 10, but they kind of reverse. So the resolution from first hole to last hole, to the 4th hole, is actually pretty flaming close, about within 5/100ths of a mil. So that's starting to interest me. Plus, knowing that, I can still use them and tune them. Or, all of these if, buts and maybes and ors, if I set it up again with these, I can keep them as a set, and I can keep these as a set, because they're really easy to put in and out, when you've got two hands and not holding a camera. The other thing is the fact that this is mounted to one of the panels of the MFT top is really good. But now, having looked at it, and it's something I'm going to be thinking about also for the router setup that I want to make down this end of the... Well, actually, it doesn't matter where it goes if I do it properly. Making a couple of panels up not dissimilar to this means I can bring those out, maybe two of them out, pin them in place, and then this can come out so that the bulk of it isn't in the way and hogging the surface for the panel ourselves. And we need to be able to, so I'm reaching in, I need to be able to walk up to the edge and still be able to reach the track saw, otherwise it becomes a little bit too unwieldy. Equally, you don't have to use this. This is here generally for if you're going to do multiple cuts, generally a little bit on the narrower side, but I really do like this mechanism, and as I've got dialed in here, pretty darn accurate. In fact, if you hold your mouth the right way when you measure this with the digital calipers, it goes down to about 3/100ths of a millimetre. That's getting down towards about 1/1000 of an inch, there or thereabouts, something like that. No, that might be a bit bigger. No, might be wrong on that one. But now that I've got this as accurate as I require it yet, I still can tune it, which I'll still be doing, but I've got to attach the aluminium rail to the custom wood, and I've got the locking mechanism in place. A little bit of fiddling around here has allowed me to do that. I showed it in the last video, that brass, it's a nut, flange nut for joining furniture. That's there to stop abrading the soft fibres of the custom wood with the end of the rod. I can bring it down into place with the wing nut on the end. I can turn it. If there's a lot of turns, I can stick my drill on the end of it and wind it in, because it's only a 1mm pitch, so it takes a lot of winding. But once I've got, and as you can see, I can advance it in infinitely fine amounts, because as I've said before, quarter turn is 1/4 of a millimetre. An 1/8 of a turn is 1/8 of a millimetre, or thereabouts, so it's very, very fine adjustment. You get it into the right position. I don't think you have to go that fine, but it's nice to have it. You get it, you move it until you decide that the measurement is right. You spin the nut coupler here, just finger tight. It's not moving anywhere. Yes, it can move out, but the addition of a spring to hold in these parts wouldn't actually be all that hard to actually include. Am I going to do it? No, because it's effectively, in my opinion, not necessary. So long as you remember to pull it back, that's all that really is required as far as I'm concerned. However, if you want to have a little bit more security, well, you could add a spring. Yeah, I'm not going to, as I said. And you can also clamp this off. You can put a clamp in here and clamp it so that if you really, really, really wanted to, you could secure this rail very, very well indeed. Necessary? I don't think so. Ditto here when I put the long, and it can be any long straight edge, not simply this one. I've got longer ones than this, but really, this is a 2.4 long table as it is. I don't think I'll be putting anything against this that would require a longer rail. I've got shorter ones and I've longer one. There's a longer one over there. There's a long one there, and outside I've got a huge one. Why would you want to do that? So long as you're supporting most of the panel, even if it was only this wide, 50mm, up against there, track saw runs down there, and you're done. Full length piece of melamine in here. There's your packer, and yeah, straight past it. The rigidity of the aluminium may be that it is only needing 2 pivots. I just made that because I thought 3 pivots better than 2 for the flex, but as you can see, there's a top, and I'm giving it a good tweak. You might be able to see it flexing. Let me, while we're here, I'll pull this out. It does come out with a wriggle. That's why I like these pins, the fit that they have. Okay, so I've taken the middle pivot out, and you can see readily the flex. But if the rail was up against there and it's held at the pivot points, this doesn't matter whether it flexes. Not really, does it? So that will support this. And even if I have a third fixing point at this point, it'll hold that from flexing. So, but there will be some times when I'll use this without the rail. So hence we want to have a third, and it is pretty stout. I'll just put that in there if you didn't see that, because I didn't point the camera in the right direction. Dear. So very happy. Pivots nicely, gap pretty darn good, accuracy right on the money, can still be improved down to a few hundredths of a millimetre, which would be more than what I require for anything that I'm doing. So yeah, very happy. Okay, well, I might leave it at that. Nice to have that at least, I'm going to say 3/4 of the way done. I still have to put the pivot in, I still have to put the threaded rod in here like I did on this one here. Not much of a job, so that'll be good. Then I've got to make some sort of attachment for that, do that for both, and then we're pretty much complete. The next job immediately following this is the router attachment. To be able to attach a router, I'm going to make 2, one for a small router, just a palm router, and it's got its own a lift. It's one of these cheap ones that, literally cheap, from Joywood or through Banggood or AliExpress or something. And I looked at it for a while actually, and I thought, nah, that is just cheap shit, and I'm not going to even lower myself to buy it. But I kept on looking at it every now and then, and I thought, it is that cheap. Why not buy it and have a look? How bad can it be? Well, when I got it, the first thing I pulled out, because of the packaging, was the fence, etc. on it. And what a piece of crap that turned out to be. But I think it's the sort of crap that could actually be very easily beefed up and be quite good, strangely enough. And the actual router lift looks so cheap and nasty. I thought, it's not very good. I actually got a hold of it and started playing with it, and I'm going, holy shite, that is not too bad. And I was actually quite impressed with it. Is it like top-end woodpeckers or whatever, Verite, whatever the other models are, manufacturers are? Hell no, not even in the ballpark of those. But it's actually not as bad as I thought, so I'm on a winner there. So go figure. Sometimes you get lucky. I've bought other things. One that's sitting up there I talk about occasionally. Got very, very good reviews. I bought it. As far as I'm concerned, it's a waste of money. A waste of money in that it can't do what it is supposed to do. And I think, to be fair to it and those that have reviewed it, I must have got a dud. Got through quality control, and because I hadn't had immediate use for it, I popped it up in the shelf and didn't use it for about 8 months. When I went to use it and found out it's not good, it was too late to return it anyway. And then when I did contact them, because I wanted replacement bushes, because I think that was the problem, they asked some silly question. I said, you're not even listening. So very disappointed. Lovely bit of engineering, Looks good, good reviews. That's sitting there not being used. That router lift doesn't look that flash, but maybe I was wrong on that. Hopefully so. Okay, that's it. That's the next job. Router, the pad for the router this end. And then when the track saw, pivots, bench dogs, rail guides here, the parallel guides here all start to work together, they'll have the router dimensioning facility to actually make all those little refinements that my other tools have yet to be able to achieve, or me. So, yippee. All in all, very happy Sunday for me. Resolved any of the issues there. Made them, well, it's not a mock-up, but I made a panel there, the rail guides there on the panel, and it's all in the right direction. No unforeseen or unwanted problems with this one, so yippee. Rightio. Happy camper, wandering off, have another cup of tea. Rightio. I'll see you later now. Bye.